All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Brand and Bank. And on this episode, we're going to talk about all my friends have jobs and benefits. Wow, that is so loaded, right, Elle?
Yeah, and true.
Yeah. So let's talk about the awkward moment when your friends talk about PTO and health insurance and, all these things. And then you're like, well, I get paid when I send an invoice, and they're like, what? You don't get paid every Friday?
Yeah.
You're like, "No." How
You
do you
can't
feel when
join your vacation?
Right, right. So what does your conversations look like when you talk to your friends who are still in corporate world and they're talking about, "Oh, I'm just taking a PTO," or "I'm on vacation, paid vacation," or "My health insurance is 100% covered."
Yeah, I've gotten to the point where I just kind of stay silent. I don't try to explain anymore. And I've had to decline so many vacations or outings with friends because I don't have paid time off. I don't have the same benefits. And I am lucky enough to have my closest friends do understand, or they understand enough at the point where, they will check with me. I have a couple friends that are planning vacations for a year from now. Now they're planning vacations like way ahead of time with me. So I think it's just changing expectations among your friend group versus, used to be able to join them all the time. And now it's maybe once a year.
Yeah, and I like that you said you change your expectations. And that's good too because, as business owners, we do have to set expectations on what we can and cannot do. And sometimes we have to learn how to say no and be firm about it because your counterparts who are still in corporate world, they can come and go, they have the money, they have the PTOs, they have all this thing and they can afford to just take up and go. But you as a business owner, you have to pinch every penny you have. You have to be able to, as they say, rob Peter to pay Paul.
Right. Yeah.
Somebody has to get paid. So you can't do that. And so I know for me, when I mean, quite frankly, I don't have a lot of friends that are still in corporate America. I think most of my friends now over the years, they're all business owners, but I still do have probably one or two that's in corporate world. And when they talk about, their benefits and their PTO and health and all of that stuff, I try like you to stay silent, but I also chime in because I'm on my husband's health insurance. He's still in the corporate world, thank God. And so
Yeah.
I'm able to not have to worry about not having stuff like that, insurance, which is a big thing for most business owners. A lot of small business owners probably don't have insurance because they can't afford it. And so, it's one of those things that you just have to stay silent on it or just change the subject.
Right. I
Yeah.
am jealous of people who have retirement accounts because
Oh,
I haven't been able to put anything towards since I started my business.
you're
Nothing.
not
So
alone. There
I'm
is,
hoping something.
yeah, there are, I'm guessing probably thousands upon thousands of small business owners who don't have retirement accounts. They don't have a 401k or a Roth IRA or anything like that. They don't have that because every dollar you make, you think you're gonna, and we talked about this earlier, you think you're gonna have a plethora of money because you're a business owner. You're like, oh yeah, I was making $1 as an employee. Now I'm gonna make $100 as a boss. You're not. And even if you are, the business expenses, they creep up so fast. Operational
Right.
costs eat away at every single dollar you have. So sometimes you have to sacrifice your own retirement, your own paycheck to take care of your staff if you have a staff or to take care of your overheads because that's just what a business owner does.
Yeah, the more money you make, the more expenses you have, so it's really hard to make more money
Oh
at
yeah.
any point.
Yeah. And one of the things I always do too, and I always suggest to people is, and you can do so much of this, is to trim your budget. You can trim
Yes.
so much. I mean, there's so much you can trim. You can trim down to zero and still don't have enough money.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just one of the things being a business owner, not having these retirements and vacations and stuff when you're the boss. So
Yeah.
it does add up and you're not the only one. Plenty of people.
And another thing that happened to me when early on in my business, I almost failed at my business because I was still trying to live like I worked a corporate job. And so all my friends still do have corporate jobs. And I was going out with them like I always used to. We would go out every weekend. And then we went on a week long vacation for their birthday around Halloween. And then it started creeping up to like weeknights too. And I finally, and I didn't have time to work on my business. I wasn't working on the weekends. And as a small business owner, you have to work on the weekends.
Yes.
And I looked around and I'm like, wow, nothing has happened with my business in this past month. And I need to stop hanging out with my friends and just work on my business. And I did. And yeah, I had to kind of move away from that friend group. They didn't understand because, if you're spending all of your time with a group of people and then suddenly you're spending none of your time, they usually aren't very happy about that.
Yeah.
And I, I had to make a choice. Was it my business or was it this friend group? And was it having this, active social life? And I chose my business and now it's still going. It's profitable. Otherwise, I guess I'd be back at a corporate job, hanging out with my friends though.
And so what would you suggest that business owners do that don't have retirement accounts or don't have a health insurance? What would you suggest them to do to be able to kind of like have a footing in that? What have
Yeah,
you
that's
done?
a tough one. I guess you have to pay yourself. So you should also pay yourself a retirement account, open a
Mhm.
Roth IRA at least and max that out. I think it's 7,000 a year.
Yeah,
So
62 or something?
yeah. So I think that should be, put that into your business expenses, at least a
Yeah.
Roth IRA. And then what
And
was the other one? PTO?
PTO. Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. I really haven't figured out the answer to that. I guess take a vacation when all your clients are taking a vacation. Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah,
I think too for retirement, I think to like you said, make it be a normal business expense, right? And so that would be the only because if you wait to have money to fund it, you'll never have money, right? You're never
right,
gonna have money. And so treat your retirement like you would office supplies. It's just something you have to pay for, or your telephone, or whatever, and it just comes off right, right off the top. So you're not waiting to have a net income before you pay your retirement. It's an expense that you have to pay. And I think that will kind of like help people to save for it. Even if it starts off with like a dollar. I know there's plenty of them out there. One I like is Robinhood. You can do an Roth IRA there, you can do stocks, you can do a whole bunch of different things, but you can start even with having $10 a month into a Roth IRA with Robinhood. And you do that, and every month $10 gets put on your business expenses as a business expense, but it goes into to funding your retirement and it's automatic. And so, you can rest assured that yeah, you might not retire with as a millionaire, but you're not going to retire broke either.
right. That's a good point. Start today.
Start
That
today.
best retirement advice, start today.
Start today. And start with $10 or $5 and gradually increase. Everything you can pause, you can increase, whatever, but start today. Yeah.
Maybe look at what tech platform you might be able to cut out of your budget and replace your Roth IRA.
Good
Replace it with your
one.
Roth
There's
IRA.
plenty of expenses we as business owners carry because we think we need them, right? Because, oh, to make the business operate, I need this, I need that, I need that. But in truth, you really don't. And even if you do, can you find one platform that has everything? Like, I'm a sucker for having an inclusive, comprehensive platform. One thing that does everything. We used to use a practice management software and we had to use that and then 50 different things. And I found one a couple of years now that does everything that we want. And so now we've cut out like, I would about say 15 platforms and now we're just using one. And then what I like about the one we use is that we have the ability to tell their tech team, hey, we would like to see XYZ, and they'll build it in there. And so now we have that. And so yes, Al, that's a good advice. cut out stuff that you really don't need and use that money to fund your IRA for your
Nice,
retirement.
nice. So
Yeah.
what platform is that?
The one we use for practice management right now?
You said practice management?
Yeah, it's called Zenith. It's spelled with a X though. One would think Zenith would spell with a Z, but no, it's spelled with an X. And we love it
Okay.
because it does everything that we need in-house to manage a workflow for clients, documentation, storage, all that stuff. So we love it. And it cuts
That
out 15 different things that we really need. So all that money we're saving can go towards different things.
very
All
cool.
right, let's talk about perks. We love perks.
Yes. Please.
Perks tend to be very, very tempting. There's perks like free lunch. Oh my gosh. I remember I used to work somewhere and we would get free lunch. When I say free lunch, I don't mean free lunch like McDonald's. I mean, free lunch, like you had it catered. And this is in Chicago. So, in downtown Chicago, you have all the nice restaurants and you just have food. Oh my gosh. I would bring home so much food all the time. Loves when I went to work because he was like, what are you bringing home today?
Wow.
There was
Was it
just
every day?
we had lobster sandwiches. I mean, every day we had perks. And I think that's one of the things that corporate world can do for the employees that as small business owners, you just cannot do. You'd love to do, but you just can't afford it. And so
Right.
talking about some of the perks we had was like mentioned lunch. You might have clothing allowance. I've seen that.
That's
Travel
nice.
allowance. I have
Yeah.
all these perks. So tell me about some of the perks you've seen in your time in corporate, if any.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite perk was unlimited paid time off.
Oh,
And also paid like health, like paid gym memberships, paid bills too. When I
mm,
started working remotely for companies, they would pay for my internet and my cell phone. So, yeah, all of those little things really add up to just make you kind of feel cushy and comfortable.
exactly. Yes. And they know how to keep you. But why
Yeah.
wouldn't you trade any of those things now why would you trade entrepreneurship for those things? Like looking at where you are, being an entrepreneur and all the struggles that come with that, and then looking at all the perks that you don't have that you could really use right now. Why wouldn't you trade that in?
Why wouldn't I? Because of the freedom and flexibility is more important to me, I've realized, than any of those perks.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
And I second that. I like my freedom and I like my sanity. Like
Yes.
anything
Yeah.
that does not serve my mental space very well, like I want to check out. And as nice as it is working in corporate and having all those perks and stuff, if my sanity is being tested every day, it's
Yes.
probably not where I want to be.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, job satisfaction. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's so much fun to work with a client and share the results, see the impact that you're making with them, and it's you.
Mhm.
It's your brain, it's your work, it's your baby, and the outcomes are attributed to the work that you're doing. It's really incredible.
And it's very
And
satisfying.
I feel like in the corporate world, I would have similar successes, but they would never feel like mine. Somehow it would be, I would question, I'm like, oh, it was probably this other person did that. And that's why. So at the end of the day, it never was my success. And I really don't know. I really don't know how that came to be. Was it other people kind of taking credit for your work, or maybe I wasn't really taking things through the finish line, or just working as a team kind of makes your voice a bit quieter? I don't know.
Mm, yeah. All right. Well, let's jump into my other question is what's the most annoying assumptions your friends make about being a business owner?
That I'm available to do anything whenever, that I have all this free time, or
Yes.
that I'm not working. I don't
Yeah.
have a job.
Yeah. I think that's true. I think I heard one time somebody says, "Oh, it must be nice to be a business owner. You guys can work whenever you want to." As if, and it wasn't work whenever you want to in terms of you having freedom. it was more in a condescending way to say, "You're not doing anything. You don't have to work because you're a business owner. You can just lazy around and do nothing." It was
Right.
more in that tone. And so
Yeah.
the assumption is that we don't work, but people don't realize we work longer hours than somebody in corporate because, we talked about going to work and clocking in at 9 and leaving at 5, and that's it. When you're done, you're done. As a business
Right.
owner, you're never done. You're not, even when
Right.
you're done, your brain just won't shut down because now you're thinking about what else do I need to do? And how can I secure another client? I just lost a client. How can I get another one? You're always thinking about different things to do. So there's never any downtime. So for me, yeah, the assumptions that you don't do anything and just lay around and you can just open whenever you want to and leave whenever you want to. In a sense, yes, but not in that way. There's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that people don't see.
Yeah, I'm always taking notes in the shower or when I go on my hikes. I always have my phone with me and I'm just getting my exercise in and I'm on my phone working while I'm walking on the hike. And people walking by me probably think I'm crazy, but yeah, it's what I have to do. Otherwise, I don't
Smartphones,
get the
right?
walk in.
Thank God for smartphones, right? You can actually work while doing anything. So we love it.
Right.
All right. One more
Exactly.
thing. What is one benefit you wish small business owners got automatically? We talk about perks. We talk about all perks and all that good stuff. What's that one benefit?
Oh, that's a really good question. Ooh, I don't know. I would say unlimited PTO or any PTO where I would have coverage. Yeah, any paid time off would be great.
Yeah. Well, huh. Paid time off. Well, technically, we kind of do have, well, it's not paid though,
It's not paid and it's not covered. Nobody else is doing our job
as the
while we're
owner.
out.
Right. Right. I think for me, the one perk I wish we had automatically is everything. That sounds selfish. Everything that you would get, like you get the clothing allowance, you get the free meals, you get the gym memberships, all and we get these things as business owners. The thing is we have to pay for them.
We have to pay
So
for it
you
ourselves.
can pay for it, it's not free. Nobody's giving it to you. You're giving it to yourself.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe, well, insurance too. I would take some insurance
Yeah.
and phone pay with a match because we don't get matches unless we pay it
No,
ourselves.
we don't. No, we sure don't get matches. I wish that was a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's our takeaway from this? Tell us
Benefits,
benefits.
we don't get them,
We don't get them. And if you
but we
want
still do
them,
it.
you have to make them happen and do
Yes.
small things like cutting costs, small investments, $5, $1, small things to make it happen. And we talk about this in another episode to work smart, not hard. So that will help
Yes.
you. Yes,
Yes. Work smarter, not harder, everyone.
exactly. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining us on another episode of Brand and Bank. We are your real life work besties, and we give you the truth about starting a business and operating a business and being a business owner. And on this episode, we talk about the jobs and benefits you missed out on having when you're a business owner versus when you're in corporate America. Until then, guys, stay true to yourself. Elle, you have something you want to say?
Nope, that's all. We'll talk to you next time.
See you next time,
Subscribe,
guys.
like, comment. Bye.
Bye.